Hey guys, it's PS-Redstoner, and I'm back with another video, and it dawned on me that whenever I'm explaining how a contraption works, or whenever I use certain phrases, you guys may not understand that. And so here is a video that will help with all of that with 10 basic redstone components you need to know. So first, right here is called the T flip-flop. The T stands for toggleable. And what it does is whenever the pulse goes through this block, it pushes this piston up, but also goes through the block for a one-tick pulse into this sticky piston right here and moves the redstone block to power whatever you need to power. Alternatively, if you want to make your design a little bit more compact, you can also do this design. And so of course right here is just a sticky piston. And so whenever you push that, the piston will push the observer and it'll create a block update giving it a one-tick pulse just like this one, spitting out the block. Now you have to use sticky pistons. You can't use normal pistons. And so right here, this is what you call a pulse extender. And so what it does is even after your button turns off, it will continue to hold the pulse for a little longer. And so if you watch, even whenever the button comes back out from the block, it still stays powered for a short time longer. Now, an even more compact version, but with a little less of a delay, is this pulse extender right here. I use this one the most out of this one, simply because it's small and it's easy to build and doesn't require another comparator, but it still works the exact same. The button comes out, it stays on until a short while after. And it's quite simply just a comparator with the block in front of it and back and on top with 3 lines of redstone on top. And the reason why these repeaters are here is so it will keep the signal strong even whenever it is at the falling edge. Whenever it starts to get weak, it will still continue to give a strong output. Now this right here is an AND gate. This one is pretty simple to build. I mean, I'm sure you could build it just from looking at it. And how you use this is you need this lever on and this lever on, and it'll continue the circuit. Now you can't have just one, you can't cheat the system. So moving on to the next one, this is what you call an OR gate. You need this lever or both of them to continue the circuit. And so just like that, or both. That's why it's called an OR gate, and OR. Pretty simple. And right here, this is an item filter. If I'm doing like a shop build or something, I use this one quite often. And basically it's just a comparator. Well, first let's look at the piston alignment. Or not piston, sorry, hopper alignment. So you need a top row right here that will transport your items. You need a hopper facing that way, facing in the directions of your chest with no chest on it. And then you will run your comparator out of that. And then once you get a strong enough pulse, once enough items go in, it will power this third one, which will power this repeater, which will power this redstone torch to turn off, and it will unpower this, allowing the items to travel through. And so just like that, I only used iron blocks, but generally with these ones right here, you don't want to put anything that is valuable or anything that will run through the system. So what I do personally in my survival world is I just rename the item, I set all the item filters, and then I throw the extras into lava. And so first you got to get your items up there. So how are you supposed to do that? Well, it's really quite simple. You need something like this. This is an item elevator. A lot of YouTubers use this, a lot of people use this. I even use this a lot myself. And how it works is you dump your items into the chest. So let's just toss a little bit of stone in there. And then it goes into the dropper, and then the signal is detected by that comparator, and it goes into that sticky piston, which pushes it to face this one. They're both facing forward, facing into each other, and so it'll bounce that signal around and then go into this block and then into this dust, which will power that. Now if you don't want to use the observers, there is another way you can do this. You need to have a repeater right there, or else your signal strength will be shit, like literally. And so it works just like the other one. Let me get some items to toss in there. There you go. If not, faster and better. Now with this one, if you run another line of hoppers into it and do this, it will stop the piston from pushing it back and forth. So here, I'll show you. Alright, throw some items into there, and it will remain constant. But overall, I like that design because it's more compact, but it's just a little bit louder. Now, whenever you want to time a pulse or something, what you're going to need right here is this machine. This is a hopper clock. This is as simple as it gets. You set your timing by putting a certain amount of items in there, and once one of those hoppers completely fills up, it will lose its strength over here, enabling that piston, which is always powered along with that one until it runs out, to push that block over. And you can always use this, put a block there and run redstone out of it. I always use observers, me personally. Now this is a good redstone clock right here. It's just very fast. It's one tick in between. So here, I'll show you. Look at that piston going back and forth. Isn't that crazy? It uses the same ideology as the item elevator over there. In which this was something I accidentally stumbled upon one day whenever I was just tinkering around with some redstone. Quite cool. I use it quite often in my builds. It's pretty sick. And this right here is a toggleable clock. And so a lot of people that, they see the clock and they build it like this, and they take the repeaters and they throw it in, and you gotta get that torch and then place it and break it real fast, and then you'll get it going. Not with this design. See, you can turn this clock off. So let's get that clock going. It's bouncing back and forth, just as I expected. And once you push this button, the piston will take that block out, shutting off the circuit. Pretty neat. And the last and final one, I used this one. Actually, I used this component right here in my last video of the piston sand door. Good stuff. And this is actually very important to know. So whenever you're making double piston extenders, okay, it pushes the block out, and we want the block to be right there, but how are we supposed to transport it over 2 blocks? Well, it all comes down to repeater timings. Remember this, 2, 4, 0. Okay, that is the correct timings for a functioning, well, the fastest you can get double piston extender. And so once the pulse goes off, it will suck the block back in twice. So it goes out, and sucks it back in. Easy stuff. So hopefully now, whenever I say a T flip-flop or an item elevator or an item filter, you know exactly what I mean. And I'm going to upload a second video of how to build all these, just for you guys. If it's not going to be today, most likely tomorrow, or later tonight, I'll just have to see. But I'll be sure to post on my Twitter to let you guys know what the plans are. And so I hope you enjoyed. I hope this really helps out, because I wish I had a video like this whenever I first started. And have a nice one. Oh, and if you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that red subscribe button and hit that awesome bell icon. It will be very helpful. Thank you, and goodbye.